Warning, this video contains team selection and captain choices which some viewers may find offensive.
Hey guys, and welcome back to FPL TV. Before starting today, a quick word about OneFootball who have kindly sponsored this video. The world's best football news app is now even better, relaunching with a fresh new design. Gain access to news, scores and stats from leagues all over the world, with a brand new interface that's cleaner, simpler and smarter than ever. As for FPL, you can follow each team in the Premier League and get live updates from all the goals and assists every game week. Download it for free using the link in the description box below. Before the last game week, blank game week 18, I was torn between utilising either the free hit chip and simply manoeuvring through all the blank fixtures last week, or instead using my wildcard, with the view to setting up my team better for future game weeks, whilst also looking to optimise the bench boost chip for the upcoming big double game week 19. In the end, I opted to use the early wildcard, so let's see how the side performed in game week 18. It was a good start for the double Man City defence, with the Citizens keeping a 6th clean sheet in 8 games. They now head into a run of 5 more very decent fixtures against the likes of Palace, West Brom, Burnley and Sheffield United, so hopefully a few more clean sheets there against generally lower scoring teams. With Leeds having their double game week cancelled for next week, I opted for Rob Holding over Stuart Dallas in game week 18, simply down to the fact that Arsenal actually had a fixture last week, and that was to be rewarded with a nice clean sheet there. It was a fairly low scoring week for the big hitters in midfield, but also a tad unlucky. Son Heung-min was denied 2 goals by some outstanding goalkeeping from Areola, as well as hitting the post. And as for my captain De Bruyne, well, he won a penalty in the dying minutes against Brighton, and had he scored that, or if Sterling hadn't have ballooned it wide, then either of those outcomes would have been very profitable. Very fine margins. There was just the one player up front for me in game week 18, and it was a pretty shambolic display from Newcastle, resulting in bottom of the league Sheffield United getting their first win of the season. That's 4 blanks in a row now for Callum Wilson, but to be fair to him, it was always going to be difficult once Newcastle went down to 10 men. With a double game week in 19 now coming up for Newcastle, he's going to survive in my side for now. Last week, I opted to go into game week 18 without a playing goalkeeper. It was perhaps a bit unorthodox, but I still really like Martinez longer term, who has served me very well. I've also got lots of value tied up in him, and Aston Villa do have a few games in hand for him to make up those points. I could have opted for a playing goalkeeper as my secondary option, but I didn't want to commit to 2 expensive goalkeepers for the longer term. So for game week 18, my team ended with a mediocre score of 47. Not the best, but considering it was a blank game week, therefore resulting in a very low average of 30, it still provided me with a decent green arrow of 120,000 places, leaving me at 760k now. My overall rank is still not where I'd like to be, but it is my highest ranking of the season so far, so at least I'm making a bit of progress. The team is now well set up for the big double game week in 19 as well, so hopefully some more progress to be made there. With that, let's see how the side is lining up for game week 19, with the bench boost chip almost certainly going to be activated. Also, if you enjoyed the content here at FPL TV, then be sure to leave a like and most importantly get subscribed. You can also hit the notification bell so you always know when a new video goes live. The one planned transfer that I'm almost certainly set to make this week is Arsenal Saka making way for West Ham Souček for 1 free transfer. Souček has been providing incredible value over the past few weeks, and with a very promising double game week for West Ham at home to Burnley and West Brom, as well as having a kind run of fixtures beyond this double game week, it feels like a no-brainer to bring him in. So let's see how the team could line up if I do make that transfer. It's a solid starting 11 this week, with 9 of them having 2 fixtures. The 2 single game week players are Son away to bottom of the league Blades, and Bamford at home to Brighton, so those 2 look to be very solid options despite only having the 1 fixture. Overall, I'm feeling pretty happy with how the team is set up for this week, and hopefully my optimism is justified at the end of the game week. Currently on the bench, I've got my backup goalkeeper Johnston also with a double game week, and although West Brom have been very poor at the back, perhaps there'll be some save points in store for him over the 2 games. In fairness, Wolves and West Ham isn't the worst double game week to have, so maybe an outside chance of 1 clean sheet from these two is possible. I've also got Callum Wilson with a double game week here, as well as Rob Holding and Roman Seiss with decent single fixtures at home to low scoring Newcastle and West Brom, so some good chances there for clean sheets I think. For this reason, I think my bench is good enough to justify the bench boost this week, and to be honest, I'd rather just get this chip out of the way now, rather than holding all this value on the bench. Once the bench boost chip is out of the way, I can then look to start putting some of this value back into my starting 11. My reasoning for choosing Roman Seiss last week was down to his impressive goal threat in recent weeks, and the fact that he was facing an Everton side without Richarlison and Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I also liked his single game week fixture at home to West Brom this week, so he seemed like a decent choice. On reflection, perhaps opting for a Man United defender would have been better, especially with them having kept that clean sheet away to Burnley. But with Harry Maguire on 4 bookings, I was concerned he may pick up that 5th booking and therefore be due a 1-match ban. With some money still left over in the bank, I have thought about moving Seiss on this game week to a double game week player, such as Wan-Bissaka or Ben Chilwell, but I'm not sure it's worth the -4 hit, because a clean sheet at home to West Brom is still a good probability for Wolves on paper. I'm also quite keen to keep this money in the bank for now, because it does leave me flexible to bring Mo Salah back into the team in future game weeks, once I finally downgrade Callum Wilson. If I do make additional transfers this week though, then as always you can find out over on the FPL TV Twitter page shortly before the game week deadline. For the captaincy this week, realistically it was always going to be between De Bruyne or Fernandes in my side. However, similar to Harry Maguire, Bruno Fernandes is also on 4 bookings as things stand, and should he pick up a 5th booking against Liverpool, then that would be a disaster for my captain to miss the 2nd fixture of his double game week. Due to his form and consistency, I did want to captain Bruno this week, especially because, suspension aside, we know for sure that he'll start both games. I'm just not sure I fancy risking it with this yellow card issue. For this reason, I'll probably captain De Bruyne for game week 19, with back-to-back home games against Palace and Aston Villa. I still can't say I'm 100% comfortable in captaining De Bruyne, because with games so close together, there's always a chance that he may be due a rest. But even so, even if he gets 120 minutes over the 2 games, that's still decent for an FPL captain of his quality. So that's how my team will likely line up for game week 19. As mentioned, if anything does change, especially with fixtures constantly moving around, then as always I'll post my final team over on Twitter shortly before the game week deadline, including transfers, captaincy, and if I do go ahead with the bench boost chip. Good luck to all of you watching for game week 19, FPL responsibly, and I'll catch you all very soon.